Today, we will be learning about a sorting mechanism known as quicksort. I'll quickly go over the basics of the algorithm and then we will walk through an example. In the quicksort algorithm, first we choose a pivot element. Usually, the pivot element can be chosen in any random manner, but in the given algorithm and also in the upcoming example, I have chosen the last element as the pivot element. After choosing the pivot element, we set the pivot element at its proper sorted position in the array using a method called partition. After that, we perform quicksort on the two remaining partitions of the array, meaning the part of the array before the pivot and the part after. Now I'll discuss the partition method. We first choose an element at random as the pivot element and swap it with the last element of the array. For the sake of simplicity, we will directly choose the last array element as pivot for now. Next, what we do is, we set the pivot in its original sorted position in the array. We set the value of I as -1. We run a loop from 0 to the second last array element. The variable j acts as a loop parameter. At each point, we check if the current loop element is less than the pivot or not. If so, we increment I by 1 and swap the ith element of the array with the jth element. After traversing through the entire loop, we increment I by 1. Hence, all the elements that are less than the pivot are stored from position 0 to I-1. Now we swap the pivot and the ith element. It might sound a bit confusing, so let us go through an example. In this example, we choose 70 as the pivot element and the initial value of variable I is set to -1. The loop runs from index 0 to index 5. The 0th element of the array is 10, which is less than the pivot element, so we increment the value of I from -1 to 0 and we swap the ith and the jth elements of the array. Since I is equal to j, there is no change. For j equals to 1, the jth element is 80. Since it is greater than the pivot element, we see no change in the array. For j equals to 2, the jth element is 40 and it is less than pivot. So we increment the value of I from 0 to 1 and we interchange array elements at position 1 and 2, that is 40 and 80. Next, for j equals to 3, the jth array element is 90, which is greater than pivot, hence no change. For j equals to 4, the jth array element is 30, which is less than the pivot. Again, we increase the value of I from 1 to 2 and interchange elements at index 2 and 4, that is 30 and 80. Lastly, for j equals to 5, the jth array element is 90, which is greater than pivot and hence no change. Now the loop has ended and again we increment the value of I from 3 to 4. We see that all the elements from 0 to 3 are less than the pivot and all the elements from index 4 to 5 are greater than pivot. So the correct position of the pivot element in the sorted array would be at index 4, that is at index I. So what we do is, we swap the pivot element with the element at index I. Now the array is divided into two partitions, from index 0 to 3 and from index 5 to 6. We will now perform quicksort on each of these two partitions. First, we will perform quicksort on the first partition, that is elements 10, 40, 30 and 50. We choose 50 as the pivot element and the value of I is initially set to -1. We run a loop from index 0 to 2 with j as the loop variable. In each of the loop steps, you can see that the jth element is less than the pivot element, so we increment the value of I by 1 and swap the ith and the jth elements. Since the value of I and j are the same at each step, we do not see any difference. Once the loop is complete, we again increment the value of I by 1 and interchange the ith element with the pivot. Since the ith element is already the pivot, we do not see any change. In this case, the pivot element was already at its sorted position and hence we do not see any change at any step of the loop. There is only one partition here from index 0 to 2 and we will perform quicksort on this partition in the next slide. With respect to the previous slide, we will now perform quicksort on the second partition of the array, that is on elements 90 and 80. Like before, the initial value of I is set to -1 and 80 is chosen as the pivot element. There is only one step in the loop and since the 0th element is greater than pivot, we do not do anything. Once the loop ends, we increment the value of I from -1 to 0 and interchange the pivot with the ith element. Here we only have one element in the partition after the pivot element, that is 90. Hence, this part of the array is already sorted. Now, with respect to the first table in this slide, we will be sorting the elements from index 0 to 2, that is elements 10, 40 and 30. As usual, the value of I is set to -1 and the element 30 is chosen as the pivot. We run a loop from 0 to 1 with j as the loop parameter. For j equals to 0, 10 is the jth element, and since it is less than 30, we increment the value of I by 1 and interchange the ith and the jth elements. Since they are the same, there is no change. For j equals to 1, we have the element 40, and since it is greater than the pivot, we do not do anything. Once the loop ends, we increment I to 1 and interchange the elements 30 and 40. Since there is only one element in the two partitions before and after 30, this part of the array is sorted. Now we will be talking about the time and space complexity of the algorithm. In the best case, the pivot element will always be the middle element of the array and the complexity will be O of n log n. In the worst case, the pivot will be the first or the last element of the array and the time complexity will be O of n square. The space complexity is calculated based on the space used in the recursion stack. So in a similar fashion, the best case space complexity is O of log n and the worst case is O of n. Thank you. The resources that helped me make this video will be included in the video description.